In the featured matchup in Judgment Day for Group B at Worlds, G2 esports take on Korea's Damwon Kia at G2's final chance to stay in contention. With this do or die in mind for G2, it's exciting to see how they draft with their backs against the wall. As always, if you enjoy content like this, feel free to drop a sub to support the channel. Let's hop in the draft. Starting with the Phase 1 bans, DK basically felt out the fear in G2's drafting and forced an advantage onto themselves. They banned out Silas, Graves, and Maokai, while G2 banned out all strong openers for DK in Aatrox, Azir, and Yuumi. So Johnny's left open here, so DK just take that one away right away, pretty much. The thing is here, although Caitlyn is open as a strong pick here, G2 probably don't feel confident to use Caitlyn as their DPS champion when DK opened up with such a beefy frontline champ off the bat. Instead, they go with something tried and true to them in the Senna Seraphine. It's likely hedging against the incoming Lucian Nami pick that DK inevitably take on the B2-B3. For G2, this is a great way for them to play a very slow and controlled early laning phase, and they want to neutralize the Korean aggression with strong scaling and team fighting. They also round out with Bel'Veth in the R3, which is not what I was expecting. Conceptually, it makes sense because G2's bottom lane will be slightly less DPS than normal, but I think this warps the draft slightly. Because Bel'Veth's champion identity is that more of a straight carry than your standard frontliner like Trundle, this means that G2's hinting at the rest of their comp requires some more beef from their solo lanes. They use both bans on champions that can give them problems on that end, with the Akali and Nuguri's Jace actually getting removed here. These are champions that can punish a tank here, so they end up being pretty good, or they're decent blinds in B4, B5. DK respond by removing Victor, the main strong blind control mage for the R4 pick, as well as Ornn, which is probably the safest tank they could swing for in this case. I think right now, DK have more draft resources available to them at this stage because G2's matchups are pretty easy to predict in their eyes. They also have more options in terms of how they want to see their final comp come together. Something to entertain here is that G2 could have picked their mid on R3 so that their jungle slot could actually be open for an R4 take, if they wanted to go for Bel'Veth. However, I'm not really sure about how well known Jankos' Bel'Veth is here, so it's totally understandable if G2 were afraid of it getting locked out in Phase 2 bans. G2 actually spiced things up in R4 and fulfilled their frontline slot with Swain in mid. I can assure you that they picked this to give leverage for top so that it opens up more options for their comp overall and strengthens their ability to secure a strong matchup within an R5. I think it's pretty nice here actually, as we do see that DK move the Sejuani to top lane in the end, rounding out with Viego and LeBlanc as their mid-jungle duo for B4, B5. Asian teams love to opt for these high mobility, high octane comps with lots of kill threat in the early game, as this is the main way that they're going to be able to circumvent the scaling of this Senna Seraphine. G2 cash in the resources that they've earned for Broken Blade here and swing him the Fiora to round out the draft. With these comps in mind, this draft is going to be all about how G2 can survive the early game and if they can make it to the golden horizon that is their scaling condition. DK have a lot of resources to completely dumpster this lane though, and my main concern comes from this and the fact that Bel'Veth might not be the most flexible jungler to afford skipping camps to block dives and such. Not only that, this Bel'Veth's going to be stretched pretty thin in order to do both this and give resources for topside. G2 will undoubtedly scale better when given enough time, but I find it hard to believe that G2 can hold on long enough without getting capitalized on by what DK can bring to the table. Because of this, I rate this draft 60-40 in favor of Damwon. As always though, I hope this analysis was insightful to you guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Stay fresh.
Don't you think like that? I will love you endlessly.